Hello class, this is Mr. Steigerwald, and we're going to be talking about lesson 2.6, algebraic proofs. This is the second day. Now yesterday we wrote notes and we did stuff in class where we used algebra to write two-column proofs. What we're going to do now is our second objective, use properties of equality to justify geometric statements. Now you'll see that on one side of the handout it has the heading here, Geometry Notes 2.6 Algebraic Proofs. If you're on that side, flip it over. And you should see in the top left-hand corner, Properties of Equality. I also want you to take out your notes that you took yesterday, and I want you to look at the back of your notes of 2.6. where you're looking at the addition, property of equality, subtraction, multiplication, all the way to the bottom, which is the distributive property. You're going to use these properties in filling out the properties of equality on this Notes 2.6 Day 2 worksheet here, note sheet. So this is what I want you to do. On the top here, where it says properties of equality, addition property of equality, I want you to go ahead and fill this out. If we have A equals B, then if we add C to both sides, you saw from yesterday's notes, we will have A plus C equals B plus C. Right? Now we could do the same thing where with algebra, where if we add C to both sides, it'll look like what we just wrote there, A plus C equals B plus C. But in this middle line here, if AB equals CD, if those two line segments are equal to each other, we could actually add a segment to both AB and CD, and they'd still be equal to each other. For instance, if we add BC to both sides, we will have AB plus BC will equal CD plus BC. Whatever you do on one side, you'll do to the other. Now just like with algebra and also line segments, we could add angles to other angles. Whatever we do on one side, we'll do to the other. So let's add angle 3 to angle 1 and also angle 2. Let's add angle 3 to both sides of the equation. We'll end up with this. Measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 3 will equal measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3. Okay? We're going to use these properties here when we get into school tomorrow, and we're going to use this as a reference sheet. Okay? So I'm going to go on to the next property here, and that's the subtraction property of equality. Again, just like with the first line here, where we could subtract C from both sides. Now, you already know what that looks like from the notes we took yesterday. But we also could subtract line segments from segments. So, with the middle one here, property, if AB equals CD, what would it look like if we subtract BC from both sides? Go ahead and write that down. And then after you write that down, go to the third line here and subtract measure of angle 3 from both sides. What would that look like? Go ahead and write that down, and I'll make that fun beeping sound which you like. Beep. The multiplication property of equality. Again, whatever we do on one side, we'll do to the other. So if we multiply C to both sides, again, yesterday you saw what that looked like. Go ahead and write that down. But we could do the same thing for line segments. What would it look like when we multiply 3 to both sides? Go ahead and write that down. And then when you're done with that, go ahead and multiply 3 to both sides with the angles. If measure of angle 1 equals measure of angle 2, what would it look like when we multiply 3 to both sides? Okay, write that down. Beep. Division property. Again, whatever we do on one side, we can do to the other. yesterday we took the notes. If A equals B and C is not 0, then we could divide both sides by C. Well, we could do the same thing with our line segments and our angle measures. We could divide both sides by a constant, and let's call it constant C. So go ahead and write down what it would look like if we divided a line segment on both sides by C and the angle measures both sides by C. Beep. Now with the remaining properties, reflexive, symmetric, transitive, and I'm going to bring this down, substitution, distributive property. With the notes that we took yesterday with 2.6 for algebra, we could do the same thing for our line segments and also our angle measures. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and copy down the properties for A and B and the C. Copy the first line down, and then go ahead and do the same thing similarly with our line segments and our angle measures. Okay? And go ahead and finish this worksheet, and I'll look at it tomorrow and see how well you guys did. Have a great day. Bye.